Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to preview the Monte-Carlo semifinal between Holger Rune and Jannik Sinner. My name is Anthony Hirsch and welcome to the tennis commentary booth. Sinner versus Rune is going to be a very fun match. It's their first meeting on the clay. Technically they haven't played a completed match, but they played a 3-set match with Holger Rune leading 5-2 in the third set, but Sinner near the end of the third set just had a terrible fall. And listen, it's two young guys. Sinner's 21, Rune is 19. Rune already has a Masters title in his arsenal. He won Paris last year in an incredible run, beating 5 top 10 opposition. Sinner is yet to win a Masters. He's been around for, it seems like a long time now. As a teenager, he reached the quarterfinals of the French Open, first man born in the 2000s in this millennium to reach the quarterfinals of a major. Now he's reached the quarters at all 4 majors. But he's been around a while, still hasn't captured a Masters. Really, all 4 semifinalists are in great positions and have great opportunities to put another Masters title in their arsenal, whether it's Fritz trying to get his second one, and Rune trying to get his second one, or Rublev and Sinner trying to get their first one, and they've really been around longer than Fritz or Rune at the top of the game. I think it's a very interesting matchup. Both guys can hit with a lot of pace. Both guys are extremely athletic and move very well out there. It's fun to watch both of them on the clay and adjusting their games. Let me talk about their previous meeting a little bit. So, Sofia, indoor hard courts, much quicker conditions. Rune was on a huge run, huge streak, reached 4 consecutive finals, I think won 2 titles, including Paris. He was on a huge tear to end the year. Sinner, not at his best tennis at the end of last year, came into Paris with a little bit of an injury off of this Rune match, but also just wasn't playing his absolute top best tennis. Definitely not to the level where he is now, not hitting as effectively, not getting the depth, precision, the angles, point in, point out that he is now. Serves looking way better and is a much better weapon now. Put on a lot of muscle now and is just a much more consistent top threat, which everyone, or at least I thought, was a big possibility coming into this year that he would make those improvements. But Sinner is a different player now, and it was always there, but he's found it. He's unlocked it. When I look at that match, the big thing for me is Sinner's court positioning. It was the first time they played, and I felt like Sinner was constantly indecisive in his court positioning. Holger Rune is an interesting player. First of all, very quick shots. Yeah, very big serve, very big forehand, big backhand, although not as big as Sinner's, whose is the biggest average on the tour in backhand speeds. But huge pace of shot. But he also has the speed and athleticism to really work the ground strokes, and that is really the key to his game. Set up a +1 with a serve, and he's fast enough, very effective in his movement in every point, to every shot. Even when he's not doing a quick sprint, he's very quick moving around on the court. I kind of compare it to Novak Djokovic. So the problem for Sinner is that Holger Rune, he's not always just cracking winners. He's not always just running around the court and rallying. He's really, at any point, doing any mix of the two. So it's hard to know if you should stand right on the baseline and be ready to attack, or if you need to be way behind the baseline and just be defending. It's hard to know where his court positioning needs to be. So, for example, that's something that Sinner needs to prepare for more on these clay courts of Monte-Carlo as opposed to what he did on the indoor courts of Sofia. He needs to be better prepared in his court positioning to be ready for both the attack of Rune's shots, the pace that he can get on them, but also just for rallying. He needs to know how to position himself in the court. And like I said, Sinner's backhand is monstrous. He has a really great shot in that shot. He has a great forehand, but Jannik's backhand, it's monstrous. He can slide and do the open stance backhand. It's quite phenomenal. But Also, but he can struggle when he has to hit it up high over his shoulders, especially last year, but even this year, he can struggle. And something that Rune likes to do is actually to hit the serve out wide to kick up. Holger Rune, he loves that kick serve out wide, and it can actually trouble Sinner if he's not ready for it, especially. Both players I consider fairly complete. I think Jannik, though, is in particular still improving, particularly on the serve, but in a lot of dimensions, and that should be absolutely horrifying for everybody else on the tour, because Sinner is looking monstrous and he's playing at a top 5 level. He's climbing up there, so everybody should be on the lookout. The guy's only 21 years old. He can play great in all surfaces, all conditions. So you gotta watch out for Jannik Sinner, the way he's playing and the way he's still improving. Holger Rune, I'm not as sure that his ceiling is as high as Sinner's, if I'm honest, although many will disagree with me, I'm sure, but that's just kind of how I'm looking at it. And the reason I say that is I'm not sure he has the weapons that Sinner has with off the forehand. Rune has a great serve, but Sinner's athleticism, his average forehands and backhands are absolutely incredible, and he can pull out just like incredible shots out of nowhere. The guy's ridiculously skilled. I mean, I love how under the surface it is, but if you watch any one of his matches, I mean, the flash comes out in spades. He's a fantastic talent. I think it's going to be interesting. Rune is really impressive to me. I mean, he beat Tsitsipas on the clay last year. He won a few titles on the clay. I think, honestly, Tsitsipas at the French Open is the best version of Tsitsipas. Not a coincidence, that's also the slowest surface. But I think beating Tsitsipas is one of the harder, I'm not going to say one of the hardest, but one of the harder challenges in the sport right now at Roland Garros. Because Tsitsipas just works the court and has so much time to set up his shots. And it's just really great for his game. The cat and mouse that he can do, he just seems fully in control. So it was really impressive that Rune got it done on the clay. And clay is actually a worse percentage for him right now, Holger Rune, rather than hard courts. But he plays fantastic on the clay. But Sinner is also a great clay player, and I would not count him out. But I would say that Rune may be a little bit more comfortable this week. That's something I would give it to him. But I just think Jannik's tier of play recently is incredible. His precision, his aggression. I mean, when he's confident and when he's just taking control, he's unstoppable. The guy's monstrous. I think he's playing the better ball in general. Rune hasn't made a semifinal since Paris. So Jannik is really used to the moment. In fact, he's the first guy to make the semifinals of Indian Wells, Miami, and Monte-Carlo outside of the big three in the Open era. It's just him and the big three in that statistic. So Jannik's in insane form. Starting off the clay season right away in great form, and the season in general. Sinner is the best this year when he's been aggressive and confident, moving forward, hitting variety, just hitting his shots. He's been incredibly precise on the clay, hitting with great depth. His average quality of shot is amazing. Also, this is something I take to note. Sinner, he has a 21-1 record after winning the first set this year. The one lost to Medi in Rotterdam. But he's now 21-1 after winning the first set, which I think is an underrated stat in men's tennis. To be able to actually hold on to the lead and just have that winning mentality inside of you that you just won't give in. You want to win. You can push it and find that sort of belief and find that game inside of yourself. You don't need to have anybody there pushing you. You're kind of the one on the charge. That's very important. I think it's an underrated stat. He's 21-1. 3-3, by the way, after losing the first set. He's 50% after losing the first set. One of those being, of course, to Alcaraz in a signature win last week, or a couple weeks back in Miami, where he got his first win over world number 1. Second set, looked like he was injured, looked like he was out of it. I never counted the guy out. I thought, you can't count the guy out. It was a similar scene at the U.S. Open, actually, where in the third set, it looked like Alcaraz was kind of gonna run away with him. Then Sinner just blitzed him in the tiebreaker 7-0. You never know with these guys. Sinner, Alcaraz, they have fantastic mentalities, and Sinner's in particular. It should be known now that he has fantastic mentality, and it was shown earlier this week in another one of those wins after losing the first set against Hurkacz, where he saved a match point with fantastic rally, very difficult shots in that rally. Down match point, a lot of pressure, he came through. Then the other one down 2-0 against Fucsovics, Martin Fucsovics at the Australian Open. So that's a good stat that I would point out. So I'm taking Jannik. He's been really solid. He's been improving as the event goes on, which has really been a pattern for him in these events. The Sunshine Double, the Monte-Carlo. I think Sinner is going to get it done in either a tight 2 sets or 3 sets. But listen, I'm so excited, and I think it's going to be a fun matchup. I think a lot of it depends on Holger Rune, on how close he's going to make it. Because I'm expecting Sinner to show up with the same level he has been bringing, to be as solid, to be as precise, to work the court, to just be solid. So I think Sinner might just be too solid. But like I said, Rune is going to be trying to kind of get Sinner out of positioning. Sinner needs to be confident, aggressive, be decisive in his court positioning. He needs to be ready for Rune to be hitting the kick serves to kick up high to his backhand. In general, Rune is probably going to try to get high to his backhand. And he just needs to be a little bit more effective than he was in the Sofia match. But Sinner and Rune, they're actually good friends. They have a place together in Monte-Carlo, actually, which is something that I found out this week. So anyway, I don't know how that's going to fare for the look of this match, but it's going to be a fun one tomorrow. 2 young guns going at it, and I am absolutely stoked. I think that it's going to be the match of the tournament. I would not count out Rublev or Fritz, in particular Rublev, although Fritz has beaten Rublev the last 3 times that they played. Yeah, I think that this semifinal could end up showing us who's going to be lifting the trophy at the end of the week. Jannik Sinner versus Holger Rune. It's going to be a match to watch. 2 young guns, first meeting on the clay, both with intense aggression. They're going to be making it look like a grass court out there, and it's not one that you want to miss. Might come to define the start of this rivalry. Huge match for both of them. Big chances to get a Masters trophy. Alright, I'm Anthony Hirsch. This has been the Tennis Commentary Booth, and thank you for watching.